Hey Coachella, how are you? No, it's not Coachella. It's Nights with Ping. How are you all? Good to see you. Hey Siana. Siana says, "Hello everyone. Please hit the like button." Nanalana says, "Please fix your time to PM." I already did. I already fixed it. Um, yep. Another Maria. Good to see you. Diane, how are you, my friend? All right, we have an arrest. Finally, finally. It took all season of cold justice to get an arrest. And we got one tonight on the show. Finally got an arrest. Arrest made in case of mother's gruesome 1987 workplace murder. Her name is Derby Wagner Richardson. Richardson was abducted from her security post in Racine, Wisconsin, and was found dead in the trunk of her car. Now, 37 years later, her estranged husband has pleaded not guilty. Now, they went through the cold case on the episode. Really interesting woman for a start. And it says here she ran away from home at 14 years of age, got married young to the wrong man. But they did have two beautiful daughters together. She was getting a divorce and beginning a new chapter of her life, and it was all taken away from her. Yep, she was working as a security guard at a mall, and she was literally abducted from her work. Um, I mean, if this happened at any other place in the world and a security guard was taken from their post, it would literally be a 24-hour manhunt looking for, um, you know, the person. But this one seems to have just trailed off over the years and no one really gave a crap. It's been a cold case for how long? 1987. I was I was 3 years old at the time. That's how old I was. I was 3 when she was abducted and murdered, and yeah, so 37 years ago. It's like most of my life. No one has, it's just been a cold case. No one really cares. But cold justice cares apparently, and we've been able to get a arrest. Hey, Marilyn Landis, a divorce? Yeah, she was going through a divorce. Yes. We'll go more into it. I will show you something that's really annoying actually though. This is becoming far more common. Uh, I don't know what happened in the last, I don't know, few months, but this has been happening on and off a lot more. Um, Geographic restriction never used to happen as much, especially with Oxygen and NBC and things like that. But it's getting worse and worse, guys. Oh my god, I'm half a person. Hold on. We're back. There we go. Hey, I fixed I fixed it. Um, yeah, let's get into it. Let's show you the episode from tonight. Now, I don't have any screenshots yet. The episode finished on the East Coast. What is it like? Under 20 minutes ago. I don't have any screenshots. I can't get them until it replays. And the odd thing is, I'm going to have to wait for it to get onto on demand. For the first 7 episodes of the series, they actually ran like a an encore screening, like 3 hours later. Last week and this week, they stopped doing it. They're not doing it anymore. Oxygen, Passport, East Coast. Hold on, guys. East Coast Passport. I'll show you. They used to actually do an encore episode. I just double check. I don't think they're doing it anymore. Yeah. What was this one? This one's called Bound and Gagged. Oh no, they are this week. It was just for some reason last week they weren't doing it. Okay, I should be able to grab more screenshots before we come back for the late show. So as you can see here, it says 10 a.m. in the morning for me. That's when Cold Justice, the new episode, airs, and then 4 hours later they do a encore episode. This is for the East Coast of America. So at we get on at 9, so this would have been 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. on Saturday night, and then it must be 4 hours later, so midnight. Midnight it re-airs again. for the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, add or subtract 3 hours. Is that right? I think that's right. Subtract 3 hours. All right, there you go. There's your timings for the show. If you would like to watch the episode. But like I was saying before, she ran a home at the age of 14, got married young to the wrong man, but they did have two beautiful daughters together, and she was getting divorced, beginning a new chapter of her life when it was all taken away. I feel like we hear that byline in murder, especially murders of females, far too often. We hear, "What a lovely lady. She had all of it going for her. She was gonna start a new life, try find a, a new purpose in life after getting a divorce and going through a very bad breakup or custody dispute, and they wind up dead." And it's just like, 23% of all women who divorce a partner end up in a murder. It's just I feel like that's where we're getting to. It's an awful, awful cliche in true crime. It says, "Who was Debbie Wagner Richardson?" Debbie Wagner, Debbie Wagner Richardson, 28, was a mother of two who worked her tail off to raise her children. According to Spignola, she held three jobs, including weekdays at a nursing center in Kenosha and as an instructor at the YWCA in Racine on the weekends. Debbie worked third shift as a security guard at the Steiberg Engineering Company from where she was abducted. Sorry, it wasn't a mall. Why did I think it was a mall? I think everybody's a security guard works at a mall, apparently. No, Racine Steiberg Engineering Company. Let's have a look. I'm going to Google that. I'm going to keep that. The companies might be still there. We'll have a look at that in a minute. It says the doting mother was described as having a tough time in her teenage years, according to the lieutenant. At 16, she found work as a dancer at a local bar owned by Fred Wagner Richardson, the man she'd later marry, with whom she'd shared two daughters. That's always a great thing. It says there was quite a bit of abuse history, both physical and mental. I think it was a kind of living nightmare for her for a long time. There's a photo of her in her security officer uniform. That's a great uniform. It says here, what happened on the night of the murder? On March 22nd, 1987, Derby, who was supposed to check in on the hour of her 12th hour shift at Steiberg, failed to clock in at 1 a.m. Her supervisor searched the property and called police when he found no signs of the employee. However, things seemed a little off in the building's lunchroom and a connecting office where Derby regularly folded her children's laundry. Left behind was Derby's jacket with the arms pulled through and a broken clock, among other items. Obviously, that insinuates there might have been a struggle, right? It says here there were signs of a struggle at a nearby office where the door had actually been kicked in. They actually show a photo of this, and one of the points that they look at is it looks like maybe someone used like their hip, and maybe they were wearing something abrasive like denim, and they used their body weight through their hip to kind of budge the door or kind of knock in the door. And you can see that it had a lot of scraping marks or abrasive kind of contact with the door that left marks on it because it was like sort of like a wood door that had a light polish and it had been rubbed off from the denim. So that was an interesting find for police. It says police arriving at the 1987 scene found no sign of Derby or her Pontiac Sunbird, but within hours they found a good amount of the missing woman's items across town, scattered around roadsides heading away from the town. Objects including Derby's makeup bag, keys, and bloody clothes. That's never a good thing. The following morning around 8 a.m., an officer found Derby's car parked in front of the engineering building. The official recognized blood dripping from the trunk of the vehicle. Can you guess where this is going? Can you guess? It says police found Derby's unclothed body inside, of course, because they dumped her clothes all around town. The victim only wore one sock. That's it. That's all she had, one sock on. She had white duct tape still around her mouth. Her throat had been crudely slashed and her wrists were cut to the bone, according to Spignola. The scene was described by the detective as gruesome. And now, in the forensic later on, they talk about how amateurish her injuries were. Like, around the throat, it wasn't a very good cut. Like, a lot of times when people get cut around the throat, it's with a sharp implement, right? Um, but people don't expect how restrictive people's throats are because of all the different muscles and bone and ligaments. And, like the first bit is quite soft, but once you get further back here, it gets quite tough because you have a spine, you have some quite thick muscles around your neck, and things like that. They were describing that there wasn't just one cut into her neck; it was multiple cuts trying to get through, and they weren't able to get all the way through. It was just very, you know, just not a sharp knife as such. It was probably sharp, but just not sharp enough to do that type of work on bone and muscle and, thick kind of items. I think people underestimate how hard it is to, get through a human neck. It's not as easy as people make it out to be. It says here nothing of physical value could be used as evidence, making the case largely circumstantial, which is what cold justice tends to deal with. They either deal with no body or circumstantial. Says while we always need to consider an unknown person may be responsible for the murder, Derby's homicide appears very personal. She only had one known enemy, her soon to be ex husband, Fred. So it says here Fred Wagner Richardson was 18 years Derby's senior and the father of her two daughters. According to cold justice investigators, by the time Fred, who allegedly joined the US military under a false name, was 30, he already had himself a lengthy rap sheet. While in the military, he reportedly jumped out of the bushes and attacked and robbed someone, resulting in a prison sentence and a dishonorable discharge. After relocating to the town, he earned two more robbery convictions, but only served part of a 15-year sentence. It says after his release from the Leavenworth prison, he opened the bar where he met 16-year-old Derby. Sounds like a great guy, often picking up 16-year-old girls, at like what, 50? It says here Fred was a career criminal, but he was still able to own a bar and a few low income housing units around town. Siegler said he had a reputation for being ruthless in the business dealings and in his personal relationships. Derby left Fred in June 1986, filing for divorce in December of the same year. So that was the year before that she went missing and was murdered. Physical abuse continued with records showing an incident in January 1987, just a couple of months before the murder, when Fred allegedly strangled Derby in front of their daughter to the point the victim lost consciousness. Fred also punched his estranged wife with such force that he reportedly broke his own hand. That month, Derby was granted a temporary restraining order, which was found with her scattered items around the time of her murder, almost as like an FU, like, look, the look is just a piece of paper. Um, what do we hear about restraining orders? They're just bits of paper. Might help you in some situations, but ain't going to stop you from getting killed. And they almost provide some false safety to people. I think you still got to have your wits about you, and you got to still keep safe of number one, and try and avoid doing the same things. Try to keep out of the way. I know it sucks to alter your life, but obviously your life is in danger. Be nice if there was a better way of doing this, where instead of putting all the responsibility on the victim, we could somehow put more of the punishment onto the person who has had the restraining order taken out against them. But then you open yourself up to false claims, vindictive filing. It's a real hellhole of a system, because it's like we could do more. We could just arrest the person that's, temporary restraining order. But then what if it is a vindictive filing? What if it is the wrong person? What if it is, just done out of spite? And then, you have innocent people sitting behind bars. So I don't know the answer to it, but it sucks that a lot of it falls back on the victim. Says here, according to the victim witness specialist Barbara Smith, who helped Derby obtain the stay away order, Derby said, "He's going to kill me anyway." And Smith said to Cold Justice, "She was the first victim who said that to me." And she was right. He did. He killed her, allegedly. It said, why would Fred want Derby dead? It says, tensions between the couple ratcheted up on March 21st, 1987, just 12 hours before Derby was attacked. When Derby and Fred met with their lawyers to finalize the divorce, Fred stood to lose a good chunk of his income, including a reported 50% of his properties and 25% of rent. Hmm. Sums estimated to be worth about $250,000. That is no small amount of money in 1987. That would be, I don't even know what that would be today. It's got to be over $1 million, right? Got to be. Let's see. What's the appreciation on 1987 appreciation calculation? All right, let's use the Aussie one. Calendar year 1987, 1987. We'll just use Aussie dollars. Sorry about that. Let's do 250,000. 2005. All right, 97. Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. Let's see if we can find one. Value of $97 today. Okay. What is this? $100 in equivalent is about 3 times as much. An increase of 100. Okay, so roughly today, it's probably worth about 2.5 times. So if we times that by 2.5 times, let's go to calc. So it's early in the morning here. I can't do math. Times, or not times 2.5. So about just over $500,000, $625,000 in today's money. So just a bit over half a million bucks in today's money. That's a lot of money, even today. Even today, to get about 600 grand out of a divorce, you'd be on, you'd be singing, you'd be like very happy about that. Although probably a lot of it would go to lawyers, but you'd be pretty happy with that kind of money, especially if you could get your legal fees taken care of. Okay, so she was about to get quite a chunk of money and possibly more in the properties and the rent. It says on the way out of the meeting, Fred appeared so visibly upset that Derby's attorney called authorities and requested that she have police protection. Fred allegedly said at the time he left the meeting, I don't like to be hurt. 12 hours later, Derby was abducted and killed. He was the only person in the world that would benefit from Derby's death, according to Spignola. We've got to be able to prove that. They say those closest to Derby, including her now deceased mother Ruth, who became an advocate for mothers of murdered children, seem to think Fred was the most probable suspect. It didn't make sense to her relatives, including Debbie's aunt Ellie and Derby's brother Brian, or yeah, Brian, that anyone else would want to harm Derby. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, you got a woman who's trying to leave a very possessive, angry guy, doesn't like to have control taken away from him, is used to being the one who calls all the shots in life, and is many decades older than her. So I think he takes a senior, he wants to be the one in control, the senior person, seniority type thing. So yeah, and he was about to lose about 50% of everything he'd ever worked for. But the way you got to look at something when you're in a relationship is that it's not everything you worked for; it's everything we worked for. And when you break up, that we becomes I and you, and about 50% to each person. It's just how it is. You work towards a common goal while you're a couple, and if you break up, then you guys have to do it evenly. It's just life. It's just how life is. People got to stop thinking everything is theirs. So possessive of materials and money. It says here, Linda said she was a really good mom. She kind of put it all on herself, and I guess it wasn't enough. Cole Justice conducted interviews with many of Derby's friends and co workers, including Kelly Cherry, who watched the Wagner Richardson children on the night of Derby's murder. She was one of many people who Derby opened up to about the abuse she had faced at the hands of Fred. And she said every time she left the house, she'd always say, please, Under no circumstances, if he comes over here, do not open the door for Fred. I do not want him anywhere near the girls." Very interesting. Following Derby's murder, Fred would raise his daughters. That's very interesting, right? Once she was killed, he actually raised the daughters, but one of her dying requests, or just before she died, to her friend was, "Do not let him anywhere near those girls." And he ended up getting to keep his money and his children. He got everything out of it. He basically, you know, got what he wanted. He today, after what is it, 37 years, he's actually an old man now. He's almost 90 years old. He's 87. He's even if he goes to jail, even if he goes to trial, it doesn't matter. His life is, it's mostly told. He doesn't have that much longer left. Look, we can all be honest. At 87, I I don't know how many years you have left. Look, you could be one of these people that live to 108, maybe. There's a few people who do it. Um, let's say you live to 100 and you get that letter from the president, all right? What is that? 13 years left? It's not a lot of time. Even if they throw you in jail for a 30-year sentence, what does it matter? You're going to get great healthcare probably, or better healthcare than, you know, it's really not that much of a loss at 87. And that sucks because this woman deserves justice. And it's a shame it took so freaking long to arrest someone over her death. Should have happened 37 years ago. And the killer should have been in jail for the last 40 years. That would have been a real punishment because it would have wiped out the second half of his adult life. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So I actually question, does justice actually get done if he gets charged and convicted in this particular case? I question that. Says revisiting the crime scene, investigators theorized that since there was no signs of forced entry, the assailant likely followed Derby inside. Derby regularly brought her children's clothes to work to fold and backed her car to the door of the lunchroom to take the laundry back and forth. It's believed the killer gained entry while Derby was making one of the trips. I'm going to just check that I'm not muted because that happens a lot. Okay, good. I'm not muted. Huh. Bambi says he was a common thug. Sounds like it. Burnt Popcorn says he probably has dementia, possibly. Nanalana says he'll pay someday, maybe. Hey guys, good to see you. Hey, Leisha, Bambi, Burnt Popcorn, Nanalana, Marilyn Landis, Marjorie, DJ, Leisha. Hey, how are you? Who else is here? Wildman's mom. Hey, good to see you, my friend. Sorry, I've been reading for like 10 minutes. Bees Our Life was here too. Diamond Heart, Diane Brock, Sienna. Good to see everyone. If I missed anyone, I'm sorry. All right. Very interesting. I'm going to skip down to the end and then we're going to move on. If you tune in for the late show, I'll have a lot more photos for you. And we might even watch the press conference for this. There was a press conference about 20 days ago that I didn't even know it was connected to the show. And I searched Cold Justice like several times a week and somehow it didn't come up. But here, I'm going to skip to the end. We're going to do a bit more in the late show, okay? On March 24th, 2024, so about a month ago, just over 37 years after the murder, Fred Wagner Richardson was arrested for the 1987 murder of Derby Wagner Richardson. On Wednesday, April 10th, 2024, about 10 days ago, the suspect pleaded not guilty to murder, according to CBS Milwaukee affiliate WDJ-TV. A status conference has been scheduled for July. He's actually out on bail right now. I think he had a $50,000 bail. He posted that. I think, in cash. And probably cash from the money he kept from her death and didn't have to give over in a divorce. He actually posted that he's actually free right now. He is not in jail, I don't think. As far as I know, he bonded out. He is presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt by law. There is an upcoming trial for this, and it might be one we could watch. I think this could be very interesting. Let me see if I can find a little bit of the press conference for you. Yeah. Here's some photos. This is what Fred looks like today. This is what Fred looks like today. And that's what Derby looked like back in the 1980s. And they say the man accused in the cold case homicide has been bound over for trial. So he is going to go to trial. Records show 83-year-old Fred Wagner Richardson pleaded not guilty in court Wednesday, April 10th. He's facing a first-degree murder charge along with possession of a firearm by a felon. Wagner Richardson was formerly charged in the 1987 murder of his wife Derby after 4 decades. In March 1987, Derby Wagner Richardson was found murdered in the trunk of her car after not reporting to her security guard job at, the engineering company. She was found bound with duct tape and bruises on her forehead. She'd also had injuries to her wrist and neck. He even cut her wrists open, which investigators say ultimately was the cause of her death. Derby's murder came the same day that she and Wagner Richardson were finalizing their divorce. A status conference is scheduled for July 12th. There you go. Hey, what are you doing up here? You have an extra co-host. Hey, what are you doing? Giant cat. Why are you so large and I'm so little? Is that forced perspective or you just got funny ears? What are you doing, buddy? You know you're in front of a camera, yeah? I don't think everyone needs to see inside your ears, Bubba. Muff, come here. Come here. He's just looking at me like, what do you want me to do? Buddy, do you want to lie down? Come on. Sorry, guys. I'll get back to you in a second. I just don't want him to knock anything over. Come here. What's wrong? He wants to sleep. He's been sleeping behind me on this chair, and he gets behind my back and he curls up. There's a cushion behind here, and he curls up on it, and that's what he wants. He was sleeping there all night, and he wants to go back there. Hey, Mr. Muffin, what are you doing? Just leave him. He'll figure out what he wants to do. Charlie says, "I love it when your cats appear." Yeah, they like to appear on the weekends. Yeah, we're thinking of getting like a hammock here, like so they can hang out. Although these two don't, the big fluffy one and this one, they don't share very well. So we'd have to get two, one on either side of me. Otherwise they'll fight. But yeah, we'll get something for Muffin. Muff, you want a bed? All right, good boy. Lie down. He's gonna lie down. Good cat. So yeah, let's have a look. Sorry about the interruption. Here we go. Wagner Richardson. Let's have a look if I can find the press conference at all. I can. Maybe this one from WKOW. We've got you covered. All right, let's have a look.
New at 10, an arrest in a decades-long cold case in Racine. Police arrested a man nearly 40 years after they say he murdered his ex-wife. Derby Wagner Richardson was found dead on March 22, 1987. Police say the man now charged with killing her was the key person all along. Police charged her former husband, Fred Wagner Richardson, with murder. A recent search of his home was prompted because authorities had information he had firearms he can't own as a convicted felon.
Case was always there, right? We were able to lay it out in a way where we felt it was a common sense case and it was ready to be put in front of a jury and let them decide.
Investigators said there's nothing substantially new in this case, but say detectives looked at it differently this time around.
Why did it take so long? I don't know. Judging from the episode, I don't know. It's almost like the cops had to do different work to kind of piece it together as a different type of investigation, as a circumstantial type of case rather than a smoking gun type of murder charge. And I think maybe that's where they went differently this time, is that they tried to re-interview people, get harder evidence from direct contacts related to Derby, that type of thing. And I think that's where it maybe changed. Let's have a look at this. Here's his photo from when he was arrested. She was found dead on March 22nd, 1987. Um, I did see that he'd been bonded out. Hold on. Let me try and find that for you. I know I saw the information that he had actually bonded out of jail 7 days ago. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. It says Wagner Richardson is out of custody on a $50,000 bond, according to court records. Court records also indicate a 25,000 signature bond was signed in Wagner Richardson's second case involving possession of a firearm and weapons by a felon. He is expected to appear in court for a status conference on July 12th. Um, According to the RPD, the meeting ended with Fred leaving in a way that made Derby feel her life was in danger. That's when they had that divorce meeting with the lawyers. Her attorney agreed, informed RPD, and requested extra attention for Derby. Within hours of that meeting, Derby was killed. And it seems like the case was there from the whole time, like he said. They just needed to piece it together and figure out a way to prosecute it. I'm guessing now, Marilyn, they are quite old. Like, not quite old, but they're adults. They probably don't live at home and probably have lives of their own. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from them, but they know about it. Um, I don't believe they were in the episode, or am I wrong? Someone's going to be like, "Ping, they were on the episode for like half the show." I don't believe so. Or am I wrong? Hold on, give me a second, because I don't see them quoted in this article that we were reading before. Yeah, no, I don't know if they were. Yeah, it doesn't say they interviewed them at all. By the way, you know how I said to you that Derby was found with no clothes on, but she had a sock on? Apparently, they did do a sexual assault kit on her. There was no signs of sexual assault on her at all. There, for some reason, maybe stripping her nude was more about humiliation in death rather than a sexual thing. It was probably more to embarrass her in death. Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't. Yeah, I would have definitely told you about that. Marjorie Morse as a daughter. Yeah, they would be about my age, maybe a little older, maybe a little older than me. Um, yeah, they'd be around my age. So they're fairly not young people, but I like to consider myself young. No, they're in their 40s. Um, I don't know I have anything from them. Hold on. Let me see if I can find anything about them. It'd be interesting if their mother, like, if they commented after the arrest or anything. I haven't seen much though. April 10th, April. This is interesting. It looks like he was on a breathing tube at court. I'll show you this. It looks like when he was at Racine Circuit Court on Wednesday, April 10th, 2024, just like 10 days ago. It looks like he was on a breathing tube around his nose. And there's the lawyer in court. That must be his lawyer. Yep, with counsel Mindy M. Nolan, makes his preliminary appearance in the circuit court on Wednesday, April 10th. Um, I'm just trying to see if there's anything about the family. No, I don't see anything. Hey, Bubby, what's wrong? You can't get to Dad. Yeah, you're gonna have to stay there. It says the case will be transferred to Judge Robert Respichak, who will be presiding over the proceedings. A status hearing was scheduled for 1:30 p.m. on July 12th. A status hearing was scheduled for... Why did they do that twice? Okay, sorry. They actually repeated the same line twice. The defendant is out of custody on a $50,000 cash bond. Cash bond. That's a lot of money. 50 grand. It says here he also pleaded not guilty to a slew of weapons charges in 2 cases, including 4 counts of possession of a firearm by a person convicted of a felon and possession of an electronic weapon. What's an electronic weapon? A taser? Is an electronic weapon a taser? I'm guessing maybe. Yes, it is a taser. Cattle prod or shock collar, stun gun, or a baton, like a shock baton. Those things are crazy. Have you ever seen a shock baton? They look like a baton, and then they actually are like half baton, half stun gun. And when you whack people with it, it like shocks them. Those things are frightening. I've seen a few of them. That is a very scary weapon. The fact that you could whack someone with it and then you know, shock them at the same time. You know, these were really popular. Actually, I'll show you this for a second. This is nothing to do with the case, but I'll show you. These were really popular at one time. I don't know if they still are, but these are stun guns that look like mobile phones or like a Nokia. I've seen a few of these in my time with the underworld. I've seen a couple of these in real life, and they were able to be imported for a period of time until authorities caught on to it. I I know a few people who had one of these because they were quite easy to import at one point. Lux says, "Hi, kitty," and he jumped down. He's gone now. Diamond Heart says, "I just got a notification. Milwaukee mum of 10 found in trunk. There's been an arrest." Milwaukee mum of 10? Milwaukee mum of 10. Hold on. Wait, we were just on a Milwaukee paper. This case we're talking about is from Milwaukee. Hold on. Hold on. Let's go back. I'm on the webpage. Milwaukee's gone through it. They also had Sade Robinson the other day as well. Wait, hold on. Let me look up this. What is it called? Milwaukee mom of 10 found in trunk. There's been an arrest. Are you talking about this case? Because this case had a woman found in the trunk killed. Or is this a new case that we're looking at? You have to explain. The orange cat's name is Muffin. The other cat's name is Rory. Hold on, I'm trying to see what Diamond Heart is talking about. Because when I go to the Milwaukee News, there's nothing there. Like I'm on the Milwaukee paper now, Wisconsin paper, WISN ABC, but they're not showing anything about a woman. Yeah, see? And I'm on WKOW.com as well. And I don't see anything. So you're going to have to let me know more specifically what her name is. If she's here. What is it? Mum of 10. I guess I can Google it. Mum of 10 found in trunk. Yeah, see, nothing is popping up. Would help if I spelt it correctly. Ping. Oh, okay, here. 15 hours ago.
My mom been fighting for her life for a long time.
Standing in front of his late mother's home, surrounded by friends and family.
You never supposed to hurt a woman.
22-year-old Lawrence LeJohn Jurnett is grieving. The woman he says was always there for others. Tamika Stewart.
If I could say something to my mom right now, I'll say I love you and I care about you, Mom. I don't want you back. I don't want you to be gone away from us.
Milwaukee police say 41-year-old Tamika was last seen on Sunday near her home. Her family growing alarmed when she didn't answer their phone calls.
I never would thought I had to go to the police station to fill a missing report out.
On Wednesday, after police asked the public for help locating the critically missing woman, she was found dead in the trunk of a car near 29th Street and Ruby Avenue. A 41-year-old man was taken into custody, and investigators say Tamika's homicide is domestic violence related.
He know he was a wrong person to do that, and he know that this ain't gonna sit right with him at all.
At Thursday night's vigil, many remembering Tamika as kind and a beloved co-worker.
She's literally the best general manager I've ever had in my life. She was very nice, understanding. She was always there for you. She was just one of those genuine people that is hard to come by in today's world.
Her son Lawrence, the oldest of Tamika's 10 children, now dealing with a weight well beyond his years.
You feel like you have any responsibility to your siblings?
I definitely got a lot of responsibilities to my siblings because like them are my youngest. I want to see them grow up and be good.
But finding some comfort in the supporters all around him.
You got a bright future because your mama made you who you is, baby.
Another DV related homicide. I mean, Wisconsin and Milwaukee as a whole, they've been through the freaking ringer in the last, I don't know, couple of weeks. They've had a really, really just brutal time. Actually, over the last couple of months, the homicide rates have just seemed to gone up. I don't know why. It seems like the closer we get to summer and people start coming out over winter, it's not as cold. People start mingling a little more. The murders and homicide start to go up. It's like every year as we go into spring and summer in the US, it seems to get worse and worse. Diamond Heart says, "What is going on in Milwaukee?" Yeah, I'm gonna try find more about it. Hold on. Where is it? Let's try find more. Her name is Tomika Stewart. Let's have a look if I can find anything about it. Missing mother of 10 found dead in trunk of car. Let's have a look. No, that's the same one we just watched. No, we don't want that one. Fox News, Milwaukee. So it's like 4 days ago, apparently. I don't know if that's correct. What does that say? 17? Yeah, 4 days ago.
Tonight at 9, we begin with breaking news. The search for a critically missing woman is now a homicide investigation.
Milwaukee police tell us 41-year-old Tamika Stewart was found dead earlier today near 29th and Glendale. She was last seen Sunday evening near 10th and Center. According to police, they know who the suspect is, but they are currently not in custody. Right now, it's unclear how Stewart died.
They say unclear how she died, but in the other article we read, they said it was directly related to DV. So take that how you will.
Have you ever wondered how anyone who is deaf or hard of hearing would be alerted during a fire?
Well,
No.
look no further. The Milwaukee Fire Department shows our
I just figured we get sign language fire alarms that when they go off, they have a different color code for people. Is that a real thing? That'd be pretty cool if like the fire alarm went off and then it flashed different sequences of numbers, like different colors in different orders, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, it's a fire!" Someone needs to make that if they don't already. All right, I have another story I want to show you for tonight. And I want you to watch something and I want you to tell me what you think it is. Okay? if I can find it, because apparently that's what we do now. Let's get rid of some of these links. Okay. Sorry, I'm just paring down some of my links because we got a million pages open. Leave that one. Leave that one. Okay. All right, let me grab the link for you. Maybe hopefully I bookmarked it. Let's have a look. It's a very disturbing case, but it has a very strange ending, and I'm going to show you. And I want you to keep an eye on something in the video. Okay, now I'm going to have to go into history. Hold on. All right, there we go. All right. Moment cop shoots dead 67-year-old pedophile in sting operation after he showed up to a hotel to meet two girls aged 7 and 11. It's a very dramatic scene. As you can already see from the video, he pulled a firearm when he realized it was a sting operation, and they kill him. But so trigger warning, trigger warning. So they shoot the man. But I want you to keep an eye on something. Did you see something weird just then? You let me know. So, like, obviously, he pulls a weapon. They try to wrestle him for it, and then he grabs the gun back for a second, apparently, and then they freak out and shoot him. But look at him after, at the end, if you get a view of it. I think it's this final view will give you the best look at it. And I want you to tell me, what the hell do you think it is? Keep watching the blur, and then look at the end of it, right here. What is that? What is that smoke? I have no idea what that is. Oh, let me refresh this. I don't know what that is. Did they hit like a gas line in the property, or smoke? Smoke from the bullets, you reckon? Because they fired so many? It's so weird. I don't think I've ever seen that much smoke come out of a person's body. Shot his vape, maybe. Shot his vape and it went boom. Smoke from the gun? It's interesting because in the photo you can see the gun being reloaded and the muzzle pointing away. I don't know. Maybe it is just from rapid fire and he had so many bullets hit him. Just odd. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But let's tell you some more details about this. It says, police shot dead a pedophile who pulled a gun after he opened a hotel door expecting to have a sick threesome with two young girls. Instead of child victims aged between 7 and 11, the 67-year-old was confronted by Seattle police officers waiting to arrest him at the Doubletree Suites. It says body cam footage showed the man wearing a jacket and carrying a bag arrive at 3:13 p.m. on Wednesday and knock on the door. He immediately pulled the gun before police could greet him, and the first officer lunged at the weapon to wrestle it from his grasp. Yeah, the officer almost was able to do that cool trick. You know, officers can do that cool trick where they grab it and then spin it around. He almost did it, but the guy had a really good grip on it, and he wasn't quite able to. I think he was able to turn the gun, but he wasn't able to get the entire grip of it, unfortunately. It says the gun went off in the struggle, grazing one of the officer's legs before another cop shot the pedophile twice and he fell to the ground. 3 officers fired well over a dozen rounds into the man. There's your smoke. A dozen rounds as he lay on the ground, and he was later pronounced dead at the scene. Yes, people who are often shot at 12 times, they often do die. It's not a surprising thing. I mean, it's a lot of bullets. It says here, Seattle Police Department Chief Adrian Diaz said internet crimes against children increased 67% between 2022 and 2023. He said, for our officers, these situations are dangerous, unpredictable, and can escalate rapidly. The officers were with the Washington State Internet Crimes Against Children Divisional Task Force, whose colleagues had snared the pedophile in an online sting. Wonder if this will show up on that show with I wonder if they're doing another season this year. You know that show with that girl? Um, oh, what's it called? It was on around this time last year, and it's got that. It's like a team led by a girl, and there's like a bunch of other people, and they actually like dress as little kids, and they put on makeup and stuff, and they have like whole rooms decked out like children's bedrooms, and they actually like live chat with the suspected pedophiles and that. Then they participate in the sting operations, but I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's an interesting show. Snarks. That's what I was thinking. I was like, is this the whole 21 grams thing in real life? Are we seeing the 21 grams leave the body? No, I think it's just smoke from over 12 rounds being fired. Hey, Snarks, good to see you. By the way, Snarks left a comment yesterday on the channel. Hold on, I'll find it. Snarks said that they found it quite funny, the commentary on the hair from that guy that we saw yesterday. He said, "Can we just look at this dude's hair? Who cut his hair? It's so uneven. It's not even a straight line. Did he do it himself with a bowl?" Yes, that was quite funny. His hair was wavy as hell. I think what's that guy that does the hair cutting videos? Um, Brad, can't remember his last name. What's his name? Brad Mondo. Brad Mondo would be very upset at his hair. He'd be like, "That's not how you do a straight fringe cut. It's not a micro fringe either." There you go. Where's Reason? Reason here, my sweet friend. How are you? Oh, Reason, I'm sorry to hear that, my sweet friend. How are you? Reason said, I took a long break from true crime, had surgery in December, then caught COVID at the nursing home in January. Took a long time to get over that. Reason. I am so glad to see you, though. I'm glad to see you back. Yeah, glad to see Reason back. If only we could grab some more of our regulars back. I don't know where everyone is. I don't know what happened. Apparently, they're all bored of this channel and decided that it's not worth coming to every night anymore, apparently. Reason says, I'm okay now, Pin. Good. I'm glad you're okay. Can't have you being sick anymore, okay? No more. No more sick. You have to be healthy. All right. All right. You want to go? I think I don't have anything else on that pedophile, but what a horrible situation. I wish I could remember that. It was on Investigative Discovery. I probably have it on my hard drive somewhere. What was that show? Investigate. Her name's Rue, I think, right? Rue, Investigative Discovery, Rue. Rue Powell, that's it. Huh? The show's called Undercover Underage on ID. Are they going to do another season of that? It would be season 3, I think. Undercover Underage. Undercover Underage Reddit. Let's see. I'm going to go to their Reddit and see if they are getting another season. We will not be getting a season 3. Apparently, the show was killed off by Investigative Discovery. Yeah, they're saying on the Reddit here that it got cancelled. So if you enjoyed that show, and it was an interesting show on pedophiles and how they work, and how these sting operations can go down, very interesting that they got rid of it. I'm just trying to have a look and see if there was any other reason why they got cancelled. They put up an update. Here, I can show you. It says, Sosa together, we are very sorry to share that Undercover Underage has been cancelled. Yeah. News comes right after our team wrapped up yet another successful decoy sprint in a city we haven't worked in before. In 3 days, we helped facilitate 4 arrests with additional ones upcoming soon. We made sure to film everything from setting up the decoy rooms to the actual arrests. You'll see those stories soon here, and they're very powerful ones with charges including trafficking a person for sexual servitude. They said they're very proud of themselves and the work they've done. They say advocate for safety of children in your lives. That's a shame. I thought the show was interesting at least. Bambi says, I remember when Chris Hansen did his show. I think he's still doing it on True Blue. Is he on True Blue? I think he's on that thing called True Blue. It's got a new name. It's called Takedown with Chris Hansen. Here. There you go. Takedown with True. This is what it is. I don't know how many episodes there are, but it looks like there are 10 episodes from a bunch of different counties, including Polk County. Polk County. We know Polk County. Who is the sheriff of Polk County? We should all know that one. So, yeah, if you want to watch Chris Hansen, you can there. Snapcrackle Pop is here? Really? I didn't see them. Where's Snapcrackle? Hey, Penguin. So, hey, Snapcrackle. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Yeah, it's Grady Judd. Grady Judd. Yeah, so if you want to watch Chris Hansen, yeah, he's still doing it. I'm not sure how many seasons it has. Whoa. It's got 8 seasons. You can watch 1,000,000 episodes. Look at this. You got about, if there's 10 episodes in every season, you've got 80 episodes that you haven't watched of Chris Hansen busting pedophiles. Although, in my opinion, I think it was better when he was with the network TV station, when he was doing it through CBS or whatever channel it was. It was so much better. And I don't know. I liked the original To Catch a Predator. To Catch a Predator was really well done. Very, very interesting when it happened at the time. It was NBC. Sorry, not CBS. NBC. But yeah, I really liked the original. The original was much better. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, you've got about 80 episodes here you could go and watch of Chris Hansen. Looks like they're in the middle of a new season 8, because they've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes here. So they might be in the middle of a season 8 right now. I am doing okay for a Sunday. Got to watch some Coachella yesterday after I got off the air with you guys. Got to chill out and listen to some different artists and watch some people perform different acts and things like that. It was fun. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Keep going. Yeah. I was going to say something really bad. I was going to say, let's keep going, you jail pockets. Let's keep going. Because apparently you all get a kick out of the word jail pocket. I think we were supposed to have an update on something. Hold on. Christina Harris. Okay, why is someone sending me Christina Harris? What is Christina Harris? Oh, okay. I see why someone is sending me this. Okay. That was ages ago. Why is someone sending me this now? Oh, it was an appeal. Okay, I'll show it. Thank you for sending it. And so apparently they want me to show you this. Conviction upheld for Michigan man who killed wife by putting heroin in her cereal weeks after she gave birth. The Michigan Court of Appeals upheld the conviction of Jason Thomas Harris, 49, who was convicted of murdering his wife Christina Ann Thompson Harris. So she had a dual middle name. A Michigan court has upheld the 2021 ruling that found a man had murdered his wife by putting heroin in her cereal just weeks after she gave birth to their second child. Years after the 36-year-old Christina Ann Thompson Harris 2014 death, her husband Jason, now 49, was convicted of first-degree premeditated murder, solicitation of murder, and delivery of a controlled substance causing death. Prosecutors argued that Harris had placed heroin in his wife's milk and cereal the night before she died, believing that it was tasteless and odorless, according to the court documents. A court also convicted Harris of attempting to hire a hitman to kill Christina, planning to pay for the crime with the $10,000 of her life insurance policy. That is not much money. It is such a tiny amount of money for a life. It says here, per the court documents, Harris first filed an appeal to his conviction in 2021, arguing that he had ineffective counsel during his trial. On February 22nd, the Michigan Court of Appeals upheld his conviction, writing in a court document that Harris had motive to kill Christina. There we go. More men who think it's easy to knock off their wives. It says here, he was having an affair, thought that she was cheating on him, and was tired of her nagging him. He specifically stated to many people that he did not want a divorce because he did not want to pay child support or lose custody of the children. Before her death, he told a coworker that he wished Christina were dead. He even solicited a coworker to murder Christina in exchange for $10,000. The evidence in this case was overwhelming, and I am pleased with the decision reached by the Court of Appeals. Apparently, that's according to prosecutor David Layton, who told WNEME justice for Christina Harris and her family has once again been achieved in a court of law. It says, although Christina's death was initially believed to be an accidental overdose, law enforcement began investigating it as a homicide after receiving reports from friends of the couple that Harris had been complaining about his wife in the weeks before her death. Friends also said that Harris believed his wife had cheated on him and that he was not the father of their then 4-month-old child, and that he supposedly talked about getting rid of her. Here's a photo of them both. What a horrible man. What a horrible man. Hey, Sherry. It's good to see you. Yeah, Coachella is great. That's right. Yeah, everyone's been worried about Reason. Snapcrackle Pop says, I've been binge watching the older cases of Netflix shows. Okay. Sounds like fun. Sounds like something I'd sit there with like a bag of chips and eat the entire bag for like 3 hours. That's probably what I would do. Actually, I did that the other night. Do you guys have these things in America? I'll show you. Do you guys have these? You can't see it. Hold on. Sorry. Hold on. You guys don't want to hear the crackling. Hold on. All right, there we go. Do you guys have these things in America? I don't know if you guys have these in America, but these are like Ping's favorite snack. I don't know if here you guys can see it. They're called like Harvest Snaps. They're like pea crisps. They're like literally deep fried pea pods. Not deep fried, oven fried pea things. They've even got the little peas inside the pod still, and they taste pretty good. I don't know if you guys have them in America, but I eat them all the time. And they're the chili ones. They just got chili powder all over them. Snark says, I can't imagine actually attending Coachella. It gives me introvert hangover just thinking about it. I have been to some of the big festivals before, like 20,000, 30,000. I haven't been to 100,000, but I've been to a 30,000 and a 20,000. It's a bit bonkers. It's a bit crazy. They're really good, peekaboo. If you don't like chili, get the normal or the salt and vinegar or something, but they're pretty good. Sean said bar snacks. Are they bar snacks? I wouldn't call it that. I'd call it a chip, but yeah. Guys, hold on. All right, there we go. Crisps. That's what my granddad used to call them, crisps. He'd be like, "Do you want a pack of crisps?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I want some of those." And then I learned that's just what English people call them. So I'm Australian. We call them chips. Crisps is a British thing, not an Australian thing. Diamond Hut says my type of chips. Yeah, they're pretty good. Oh, available at Walmart. Okay. Well, if they're not, they should be only like a few dollars. Like if they are saying something like $8 a pack, it's probably too expensive. Or what do you want to call it? United Kingdom. There you go. UK. It encompasses everyone. There you go. The United Kingdom of all countries in the island. There you go. Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and Britain. United Kingdom. There you go. Not just English. Bambi says, talking music for a minute. If you're an Elton John fan or a Metallica fan, check out the video of Metallica singing Funeral for a Friend. Metallica singing Funeral. Do you mean Metallica sung at the funeral, or people were singing a Metallica song for a friend? Northern Ireland? Are they a separate country now? I know they were doing like a referendum, but I don't know. $10? That's a pretty expensive, DJ. Oh, okay. It'd be pretty good. Yeah, check that out if you like Metallica. I'm not a Metallica fan, but it'd be good if you like metal type music. I don't think I've listened to Metallica since I was like 14. I went through a phase of liking Metallica. Back in there, what was that album? I don't know. The one that they had, that one that Burn, is it Burn, or it's about a car? That doesn't narrow it down. Half of their songs are about about cars. All right. It's how long do we have? We got to get out of here. Damn it. I don't want to go. We got more things to do. Oh, piss off. As if. So, did you guys see this? Hold on, I just want to. Brian Koberger's defense has hired a retired police officer who now hosts a true crime podcast to prove he was out driving all by himself on the night 4 University of Idaho college students were slaughtered in their beds. Yeah, totally. He was driving out by himself to their house. Then he drove by himself back to his house. Yes, you're right. That's 100% right. We don't need to prove that. We already know that. He wasn't just driving around not doing anything though. I don't believe that. Ray now lives on a ranch in Arizona and hosts a Socialite Crime Club podcast. Okay. Says, according to Newsweek, Ray's testimony about cell phone movements helped convict Danielle Wood in 2021 of the 2008 murder of her ex-boyfriend in Montana. It's not clear if Ray still uses the technology his former company uses, although he apparently testifies in cases that involves its use. That technology, Trax, was barred from a Colorado courtroom last year after a judge heard testimony from law enforcement and others who found the technology lacking. He ruled that the company's flashy maps hid a sea of unreliability that the jury won't see. The district court judge ruling was specific to ZX and its track technology and did not include any other cellular tracking companies. In sum, Trax and its method have routinely and sharply admonished by the scientific and legal community, and the people haven't directed the court to any evidence showing otherwise. He also said that Ray, who claimed Trax maps were 94% to 96% accurate, was not a credible witness. Yeah, if it's your company and you're testifying to its its accuracy, you're not a good witness because your only job is to, vouch for your own interests, which means you can't do that. It needs to come from a unbiased third party who has gone through your software and can verify that it is what you say it is. Can't come from the people who own any shared interest in its success. It says he's inflated his credentials inaccurately, claiming to be an engineer, saying that Ray had testified that he is more of an engineer than an engineer. As noted, his sole academic degree is an associate's, and there's no evidence that it's related to engineering, nor is there evidence that Ray's undertaken any engineering classes. To be sure, he's created a booming business and has successfully pitched Trax to several law enforcement agencies, but a sound business model doesn't equate an accurate error rate. Interesting. Very interesting. Says here, partial corroboration. Mr. Koberger intends to offer testimony of Cy Ray. We'll get into this after. All right, we got to go. Otherwise, we'll get into this in the late show, okay? Hey, I love you all. Hold on. Let me just check this before we go. I'll check the donations thing, but I didn't hear anything while we're on the show. I would have heard a ding ding, but I didn't. So, but I don't want anyone to be mad at me. So, no, that's okay. Good. All right. Yes, I will be on later, Peekaboo. I will be on later. I'll be on after Trish. I don't know. I almost want to just keep going and see if, because not everyone wants to watch the woo-woo stuff, but she said that they are going to do true crime as well after the woo-woo stuff. So I don't want to step on her toes for that reason. It is so good to see you again. It really is. I'm glad that you are feeling better. Hey guys, I will see you in somewhere between 1 hour and 2 hours for the late Saturday night show. Hopefully by then I'll have a on-demand copy of Cold Justice and I can take some more screenshots to show you. I'll be back in about an hour or two. Hey, I love you all. See you in a little while.